Welcome to the Explainer. If you've ever felt like English pronunciation is some kind of impossible puzzle, you are definitely in the right place. So today, we're going to find all those missing pieces and finally put this puzzle together, turning that confusion into real clarity. All right, let's just dive right in with the classic example, right? This is the one that drives so many people crazy. It perfectly captures the challenge we're talking about. How on earth can these words look so alike but sound so incredibly different? But here's the thing, and this is the good news. As crazy as it all seems, it's not random. There's actually a system, a kind of code behind all the madness. And you know what? Today, we're going to crack it together. So here's our game plan. We'll kick things off with the basics, then get into the individual sounds, uncover some of those secret rules, explore the rhythm of English, and then wrap it all up with a practical plan that you can start using today. Okay, first things first, let's make sure we're all on the same page. What do we really mean when we talk about pronunciation? So it's not just about one thing. Think of it as a three-part recipe. First, you've got the individual sounds themselves. Then you have stress. That's which part of the word you emphasize. And finally, there's intonation, which is the rise and fall of your voice. That's the real music of the language. All right, now that we know what we're aiming for, let's get into the nitty-gritty. We're talking about the absolute building blocks of every single word you'll ever say in English, the sounds themselves. Now, this might blow your mind a little. We have 26 letters in the alphabet, right? But English is actually built from 44 distinct sounds. We call them phonemes. And once you get a handle on these, you can literally pronounce any word.
And these 44 sounds, they basically fall into two big families. With vowels, your mouth is pretty open, and the air just flows right out. Easy enough. But with consonants, that's where you start using your tongue, your teeth, or your lips to block or mess with that airflow. And that simple difference is, well, everything.
Okay, this is where it gets really cool, because a tiny change in your mouth can make a huge difference in meaning. So let's take ʃiːp and ʃiːp. For ʃiːp, that short I sound, your mouth is all relaxed. But for ʃiːp, that long E sound, you've got to stretch your lips, kind of like you're smiling. It's a physical thing, and it creates a totally different word. And here's another perfect example, the TH sound. Seriously, try this right now. Put your hand on your throat. Now say, think. Feel that? Just air. Now say, this. Whoa, right? You feel that buzz, that vibration? That's the difference between an unvoiced sound and a voiced sound. All right, so we've got the individual sounds. The building blocks are in place. Now, what about the rules for putting them together? Let's start with something that trips everyone up, silent letters. Now, I know these look like random, annoying exceptions, but they're not. They're actually predictable patterns. For example, that B after an M at the end of a word, pretty much always silent. Climb, lamp. Same with K before N at the start of a word. No, knife. Once you see the pattern, you start to expect it. Okay, this is one of my favorite hidden rules of English. You know the ED ending for past tense words? How you say it isn't random. It completely depends on the sound that comes right before it. If the sound before is voiceless, like the P in help, the ending sounds like a T, helped. But if the sound is voiced, like the V in love, the ending sounds like a D, loved. See? It's a system. It's actually super logical when you see it. Okay, let's zoom out a bit. We've handled the individual sounds and some of the rules for combining them. Now, let's talk about the bigger picture, what I like to call the music of English. This is all about stress and intonation. This is such a great example of why stress matters a lot. We have the same exact letters here, R-E-C-O-R-D, but where you put the emphasis, the punch, completely changes what the word is. If you stress the first part, record, it's the noun, the thing you listen to. But if you stress the second part, record, it's the verb, the action of recording something. Same spelling, different music, totally different meaning. And this idea extends to whole sentences. This is probably the biggest secret to sounding natural. You don't stress every single word. You punch the important words, the content words, like nouns, verbs, and adjectives. The little grammar words, they get kind of weak and unstressed. So you don't say, I want to go to the beach. You say, I want to go to the beach. It creates a rhythm, a beat. And the last piece of the musical puzzle is intonation. This is the melody, the way your voice rises and falls, and it's super important. Your voice naturally goes down at the end of a statement. I live in New York. But for a yes or no question, it goes up at the end. Do you live in New York? That little change in melody completely changes the meaning from a statement to a question. Whew. Okay, that was a lot of theory, right? We've talked sounds, rules, and music. Now for the most important part, how do you actually get better? Let's build your personal playbook for improvement. Okay, these aren't just random suggestions. These are tried and true methods that really work. For example, shadowing, where you listen to someone and try to repeat what they're saying almost at the same time, is incredible for building that muscle memory in your mouth. And you have to record yourself. I know, it can be awkward, but what you hear in your head is often totally different from what actually comes out of your mouth. And you know the best part? You've got so much help available. Seriously, we are living in a golden age for language learners. You have tools like Youglish that can instantly show you a word being used in a million different YouTube videos. And you've got apps like Elsa Speak that use AI to listen to you and give you instant feedback, like a personal pronunciation coach right in your pocket. So there you have it. The secret code to English pronunciation isn't so secret after all, is it? It's a system. It's got building blocks, it's got rules, and it's got music. And most importantly, it's a skill you can learn. It just takes focused practice. So the real question is, now that you have the map, what's the first step you're going to take? What's the first sound you're going to master?